Hi, hello, welcome to or back to my channel. So today I am finally going to be doing my March as well as my April wrap up. I read quite a lot in March, but April I didn't read too much because I started a new tablet, methotrexate, so I've been on and off with that. If you know about immunosuppressants and that, they can make you feel really exhausted and things. I'm not going to get into it because I don't want to bore you guys, but that as well as my eczema and stuff like that, just life, you know, so that's why I didn't really upload anything in April. We are going to get into it. We're going to go through all the books that I read and review them. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Give it a big thumbs up, subscribe, and let's get into it. I was going through my operation in March. I read these two books and it was the best time ever. I love this duology so much. It was just incredible. It's such a good romance. The Crimson Moth is basically about a socialite who is disguising herself as a socialite because she is actually the Crimson Moth, which in the story there is a witch hunter called Gideon who is searching for the Crimson Moth. Little does he know that she is hiding as a socialite, pretending that she's really dumb when actually she's super smart, and he has no idea. But then he starts to get suspicions, and she also has her reasons for being suspicious about him as well. So they both decide to start courting each other, but they shouldn't really be together, and they know that. But as they're pretending to like each other, they both slowly start to fall for each other, and it's so good because of the forbiddenness of it, because he is a witch hunter and she is the very thing that he hunts and the thing that he is searching for, because the Crimson Moth is basically saving all these witches and he is against witches. He doesn't like witches. In this world, witches are seen as evil and he hunts them. And he falls in love with a witch without knowing, which is just so good. Like, I enjoyed this so much. I am a sucker for forbidden romance every damn time. Powerless was a forbidden romance. This is a forbidden romance. And I just love it. I need to read more of that trope. It has slowly become one of my absolute favourite tropes. I eat it up every time, especially when there's a spice of enemies to lovers as well. It's just so good. But this one specifically, I think I gave 4 stars. So in my review, because I'm very bad at remembering things, I wrote that it kept me hooked from start to finish. I loved the whole hidden identity plotline with Rune. She was so compelling and fun to follow. I found her to be such a great FMC. Gideon, the way he broke my heart. I'm so interested to see how he and Rune are ever going to work. Like, literally in this book it really doesn't seem like they're gonna work. I'm scared but also so excited to see their story in book 2 after everything that went on in this book. Their tension was everything. I loved their plot of trying to get information from one another. It made up for such a fun dynamic and plotline. They were everything. The way Gideon speaks about her as well had my heart melting. But this book was incredible. But guys, the second one, this was easily a 5-star. I loved the first one so much, but this one, oh, the plot in here is just everything. Like, I didn't just love the characters, I didn't just love the romance, I love the actual plot and where the characters go in this one. Such a phenomenal book, like way better than the first one, and the first one was still amazing. Like, I still give it 4 stars, but this is a 6-star read. Like, you all need to read this one. Like, well, both of them obviously. I think the magic in here as well is just so much better than the first one. I think the author outdid herself with this one. Everything about it was just so creative, so imaginative, and I loved it. Like, oh my god, I love this series so much. I think why I love this one so much as well is I just love the way the author wrote about the love between the characters and how their story went. I think everything was better than I could have imagined. I found the banter so good in the first one, but it was even better in this one. Which I wrote in here, this was even better than the first book. Like, wow, what an incredible sequel. I was up till 4 AM multiple times because of this book. I couldn't put it down. Bearing in mind I was recovering from an operation as well. I finished it in 4 days, which isn't normal for me lately. I wish it were. Like, back in the day, reading a book this long, 4 days is like the norm for me, but at the moment it hasn't been. But this book, I just couldn't put it down. Every time I put it down I was thinking about it, and I've had that with other books but I haven't been able to pick it up. Like, I just haven't had the, like, I've wanted to, but health and stuff had got in the way. But with this I just had to. Like, I could not stop myself. It was just everything. I was so scared going into this book on how the heck everything was going to be resolved, how Rune and Gideon would be okay, but the author did an absolutely phenomenal job. Better than I could have expected. One of the best sequels I've ever read. The plot was everything. It had me constantly hooked. Not one moment was I bored. Everything was so interesting. I loved the world and politics so much. Like, the world and the politics, if you know me, I'm not a politics girly. Like, I do not read fantasy for politics because I I'm a little bit stupid and I don't always understand the politics, and when I come out of a romance, most of the time it is the characters that I remember, not really the politics of the story. So that's why I found that when I do read romances, I do kind of need to read them close together because I do forget the politics. Like right now I'm currently trying to read Iron Flame and I'm so confused. I'm so confused because I have left it far too long. But with this, I feel like if I did pause, I couldn't because I loved it too much. But I feel like if I did pause, it would have been really easy to fall back into this story. I think the politics are really simple and easy to understand. So I just love that. I love, as a person that isn't a politics girly, I love when the politics are really easy to get through and understand, because I do not like complex politics personally. That's just not me. I go into a romance for the romance and a fun plot, you know, and that's definitely what this delivered. But I will say the politics are still incredible to me personally. I think the author did an amazing job with that, and I love the whole witch vibes in here. The, like, where it goes with the witchiness, oh my god, so interesting. Like, loved all the magic and stuff in here. Hi guys, so it is a couple of days later. I didn't manage to film my whole wrap up the other day. As you saw, I only reviewed 2 books. That is because Method is kicking my butt. It was really warm that day and I felt like I was going to pass out, so I had to stop filming. But I'm back now and I'm going to continue my wrap up. One True Loves by TJR. I rated this a 4.5. Honestly, this was such a phenomenal book. I rate off 5s, but some of my 5 stars are definitely not as well written as this book. This book was so well written, like it's just such a beautiful story. And I just think TJR just has a way with writing. And this was just so good, and I'm pretty sure this was one of her earlier works, and honestly it was amazing. I really enjoyed this story. It honestly was such a bingeable read as well. This is about Emma, and basically Emma fell in love with her high school sweetheart Jessie in high school, obviously, and they were together for a lot of years. They were travelling the world, they made so many memories, but one day Jessie decides to go on this trip where he gets on a helicopter and then he goes missing mid-flight. So Emma has to navigate the grief of that. Sorry about Taka, he's choosing to play now when I'm filming. But yeah, she has to deal with the grief of this, and we follow Emma during her grief. But then, years later, after she's gone through all the grief, it's pretty much certain, because he went missing and his body was never found, that he has died. But years later, Emma gets a call from Jessie, obviously shocked that he's alive, he's fine, he's survived, he's not dead like everyone thought he was. And this leaves Emma in such a turmoil because she is engaged, she's fallen in love with someone else, she's moved on. What do you do when your first love comes back but you already have moved on, you've already fallen in love with someone else? Who do you choose? And this is really a character study on Emma and her decisions and where she goes and what she does with this huge life decision. Like, what do you do in this situation? And I just think all the characters were incredible in here, and I think the way TJR portrayed the emotions of the character was done in such an incredible way. Like, she writ the emotions so well, like you really felt everything in the story. It was just so good. This book is one of the best books that I've read that projects emotions in such an incredible way. Like, she just knows what she's doing. From the get-go, I think this was so compelling because Emma was just such an interesting character. I loved following her and seeing what she was gonna do. And really throughout this story, like, I didn't care who she'd end up with. I just wanted what was best for Emma. I loved Emma so much, and I just wanted to see her story to the end and see who she chose, and I wanted to know she would be okay. I could feel her emotions dripping off the pages. The quotes inside this book to explain grief and the complex emotions that come with that are done in such a beautiful and honest way. I loved following Emma so much. I loved how we followed her through multiple phases of life. Like, yeah, we really get to know Emma. Like I said, this is very much a character study of Emma. I wrote here as well, this whole story was so mature and really felt real to how humans would react to this situation. The men in this book were both great in their own ways. Sam was such a sweetheart and so patient. Jessie was so charming and caring. I loved both love stories so much. Also made me a little sad, well, because I'm with my first love and the thought of losing him would break me. But this book truly shows that you never know what's around the corner, and to cherish every moment / memory with the ones you love. I feel that Emma's character will stick with me for a long time. She definitely has. Such a thought-provoking story. I could go as far to say this book is a true masterpiece, and TJR is such a talented writer. Also, the ending of this is such a bittersweet story, but I loved the ending. Like, I felt so content with the ending, I felt so satisfied. So yeah, I really recommend this. I think I like this more than 7 Husbands Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, which I don't know if that's an unpopular opinion, but I just connected more to this story. I loved the Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo though, but I love the character more in here. Next up we have First Time Caller by BK Morrison. This was such an adorable story, like it was a perfect rom-com. This is about Aidan and Lucy, and basically Lucy is a single mum, and one night she hears her daughter in her room speaking to some random man on the phone. Turns out Lucy's daughter has rang a hotline that Aidan is the host on. She's rang this hotline, she's on the phone to Aidan, and she tells Aidan that her mum hasn't been on a date since she was born. She hasn't been on a date for 10 years. She's worried about her. She wants her mum to have a love life. She wants her mum to live her life. So she just lets out her mum's dirty laundry on this host show, and then Lucy, obviously being the concerned mum that she is, walks into the room and is like, why is this strange man speaking to my daughter? He ends up on the call with Aidan, obviously speaking to Aidan live on radio. She goes viral, like everyone loves her and loves how real she is, because Aidan and her end up having this really real and deep chat on this call that's also been host to thousands of people. And this radio show hasn't been doing too well because Aidan has lost his touch with it, and people can see that, so their views have gone down a lot. The thing that happened where she went viral really helped their radio show, so they end up asking Lucy if she wants to come onto the radio show and be Aidan's co-host, and that is how the story begins. I really enjoyed Lucy's character. I think she was such a fun character. I also liked how we just got to follow her and see her fall in love with again, see her finally put herself first after always putting her daughter first, obviously because she's a mum. I think that was so beautiful. And then also I really enjoyed Aidan's character. I think Aidan was such a sweetheart. Like, he comes off as such a grump at the start, but he's really such a little sweetheart. He's just not had it easy, and he has a lot of negative views towards love because of things that he's been through. And seeing him realise that he's falling for Lucy, it's just amazing. I loved it, especially because, you know, at the start Aidan was so against love. He thought he was never going to fall in love. He was done with love, he was done with all that. He just didn't see the point in it anymore. I also love the side characters. I think the side characters in here were so amazing as well, which you don't always get with a romance. Sometimes the side characters can be a bit lackluster. There definitely wasn't in here. I thought the side characters were so good. That was a great element as well. There was just a lot of good things about this book. I think though the only thing, it did feel like it is 400 pages, and sometimes it felt like it was 400 pages. It felt a little slow in some parts. I wish that we got more scenes of Aidan with Lucy's close-knit family, because that is a big element to her life in this story, and I wish we got more of them together. I also wish we got more, even though I love the radio show element, I thought it was such a fun element, I feel like we didn't get that much of these two outside of that, and I would have loved to see more scenes of them outside of the radio show, because the scenes we did get, I ate up, I loved so much. Obviously I did also enjoy the radio show, so I'm contradicting myself a little bit, but I do just wish we got a little bit more of them outside of that, because it felt like that's all it was, apart from like one or two scenes, and those scenes, wow, I love them so much. All the Problem Is You by Emma Alban. I thought I was going to love this. It makes me sad I am going to be on haul with it. It was a 3-star. It was just so slow. I wasn't connected to the story at all. I don't know if Regency romance, like just plain Regency romance, is for me. I think I only like Regency when it's in a fantasy. Maybe I'm just not picking up the right Regency romances. Please recommend me some. All the chatter about the not politics, all the chatter about, I don't know what you call it, I guess politics, like where these two stand, because they're quite high up. I mean, Bobby Mason, one of the characters, is the heir, and James Donovan is a Viscount. I have no idea what that means. I'll be real, I don't care. And then there were loads of other characters. There were so many side characters, and it felt like we barely focused on the romance, to be honest with you. It felt like we mostly focused on the Viscount and the heir and all the people in this Regency era rather than the romance, and I just didn't care. And all the talk about that was so boring to me. So yeah, it was just a bit lackluster for me. I think the romance was cute, but it wasn't very compelling for me. I didn't really believe in it. Just a bit meh for me. That's why it's middle of the road, 3-star. Still had some good elements to it. I didn't enjoy that James finally found that acceptance. I think that was truly beautiful. I think that was one of the things that I did really like about the story. In the end as well, the epilogue was so freaking sweet, and I just think that ending would have hit harder if I connected to the characters, but sadly I didn't. But I can see why people love this story if you like Regency romance. I just don't think I do unless it's in fantasy. I'm back. This video is a little bit of a mess. I do apologise. This is the third time I'm trying to film this video. Like, you've seen multiple clips where I look different. That's because methotrexate is kicking my butt. I'm on week 4 right now and I'm still flaring, but they did say it took 3 to 8 weeks to work and it's not working yet. I am exhausted, like next level exhausted. If you don't care about this, I'll put a skip mark, but I had fatigue before this because I had a chronic illness, Marfan syndrome, but this is like next level. I feel like I can't function, I feel like I can't do anything. It's not fun. Like the past 2 times I've tried filming this video, I don't know if it came across, it might be coming across now, but I genuinely feel like my eyes are drooping. Like I just feel so insanely tired, and also I feel like I'm gonna pass out every time I try and do something tasking. And this isn't even that tasking, it's just sitting and talking to a camera, but literally that's how severe the fatigue is. I'm just so tired. Yeah, that's why I haven't uploaded in a hot minute. I have missed this channel so much, but I do have a chronic illness, I do have a skin condition. This is why I don't work, because I go through phases where it's worse and I'm having a flare and it's just a lot. I love doing this, so I'm back. Hopefully we can finish this. Hopefully we can finish this video now, because it's getting a bit ridiculous. We're on, I think, when I cut the cameras. You're the Problem, It's You by Emma Albin. I can't fully remember what I said about this, but this wasn't a favourite. I didn't really love this book, to be honest. It was cute, but there was a lot of parts where I was bored. I found it slow in parts. I just felt like as well the couple in here, we didn't get that much focus on them. Like it were about them, but it also kind of wasn't. There was a lot about everything else. I don't feel like there was a good balance between what was going on and then also the relationship, in my opinion. It's a fine line between love and hate. Bobby Mason is sick of being second best, born a spare but with the personality of an heir. James Demeroven is a viscount who wishes he wasn't one. His title brings far too much attention, they can barely get through a single conversation without tension boiling over. Neither Bobby nor James has ever met a more intriguing, infuriating, infatuated man. If only they could avoid each other entirely. But when an extortionist starts targeting their families, Bobby and James must find a way to work together without pushing each other's buttons or tearing them off in the process. Synopsis just sounds so good, but I feel like this should have worked for me, but it just didn't. I'll say though, the tension was really good in here. If we got more of that, I might have loved it. I DNF'd the hating game. This is going to be short and sweet. I did do a video where I was reading like TBR veterans and this was one of them. DNF'd this. I'm going to be unhauling it. I got 100 pages in. Didn't like the writing at all. It was just hella cringy. It just didn't work for me, so that's why I DNF'd it. And I just felt like if I continued, the rating was either going to go lower or it was just going to stay the same, so I just didn't see the point in reading it. Sometimes with 3-star I'll continue and I'll finish, but I just didn't feel like doing that with this. It's a book I might have loved at the start of my reading journey, but now not so much. They got together too quickly, which can sometimes work depending on how it's written, but it wasn't written well in here in my opinion. Very lusty, again, sometimes could work. Didn't work in here. I just didn't feel the tension, I didn't feel the chemistry at all between the characters, so yeah, this was a DNF. Wall of Winnipeg and Me by Mariana Zapata. The way this was 500 pages and it felt so quick. I thoroughly enjoyed this one. I think Mariana Zapata is going to become one of my favourites because she's the type of author that writes a lot of dialogue and no plot, and I am just a girly that loves that. Sometimes I do love a plot, but romance books that are long, you really get to know the characters, there's a lot of dialogue between the characters, it's slow burn, just works for me. That is the type of romances I personally love. Slow burns are my favourite. Dialogue in books is my favourite. I like to read conversations between characters. I feel like that's such a great way to get to know the characters. This is about Vanessa Mazur. She is Aidan Graves' like assistant, but she does a lot more for him. She does so much for him and he sort of takes that for advantage a little bit. She decides to quit because she wants to pursue her dreams of graphic design. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. Yeah, graphic design. She wants to pursue her dreams of graphic design, so she decides to quit, especially because Aidan's a bit of a dick to her. Aidan Graves shows up at her door and begs her to come back because no one will put up with him. The only assistant that's ever put up with him is Vanessa, because Vanessa knows the way his brain works and she's really good with him and she understands him in a way that no one else really does, which is why I love them. He ends up coming to her door begging for her to come back. The thing with Aidan is he's not a dick. I know I said dick. He's not a dick. He's just very standoffish and he doesn't open up to anyone. His whole life is just rugby. Rugby, 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 nothing else. That's all he thinks about. He don't really have any friendships. He don't really have any relationships. It's quite sad, really. I loved getting to know his character and getting to know why he was like that. Why he was so consumed by just rugby and didn't have a life outside of that. And it was just amazing seeing him slowly open up to someone finally after years and years of being so consumed by his career. And I just think these two had the most beautiful friendship. Like it turned into a friendship and then it just became more, and there was so good. I loved them so much. I really enjoyed this book. I gave it a 4.25 star, which feels like the perfect rating. This was just such a good romance. If you love slow burn, you need to read this. So I put, this book was such a joy to read from start to finish. Literally, I loved every second. Something so beautiful about two people who have never had love to look up to, because those who are supposed to love them treat them terribly, coming together and learning what true love is together. That sentence alone is the reason why I love this book. And that sentence should just make you want to read it. I just think there is something so special about that. Like, two people that have never really had good role models, they don't really know how to love, and them learning how to love together is just everything. Let's start with Vanessa. What an amazing FMC. I loved her so much. I loved her witty comebacks and humour. I loved how strong and determined she was when she put her mind to something. I loved following her in this story, and I really wanted what was best for her. Aidan had such an amazing character development. From the start to the end, you slowly see him develop love towards Vanessa, and I love seeing that come to fruition. I loved how grumpy he was at the start. He was so blunt, but then as you go through the story, you see his personality slowly come out. The way he shows Vanessa he cares was so sweet. He always showed up for her when she needed him the most. The book convention, oh my god, I completely forgot about that. The way I was literally acting like an idiot when that happened, I was like, oh my god. He literally just showed up whenever she needed him. It's like he just knew. He knew the right moments. That scene, if you've read it, you know what I mean. It just hits different. And the marathon as well. I'm a simple girl. If a book boyfriend says that's my girl, chances are I'm going to fall in love with the MMC. I think the love between these characters was so beautiful, and I loved reading their story. The slow burn was everything. The epilogue in here as well, so cute. Slow burn was painful in the best way. I couldn't put the book down because I wanted to see them finally admit their feelings. And I loved Zach as well. He was a great side character. His friendship with Van, them two were hilarious together. They had me laughing so much. Sorry that was a long-willed review, but I just really liked this book. You'd think it were a 5-star, but I'm just a really detailed reviewer. I just like to write everything I loved about the book because I'm very forgetful. So I've started writing reviews as soon as I've read the book, because once I've read a book, the next day chances are I probably forgot a lot. Like, I put in there the scenes that specifically I loved, and then I just remembered then as I read it, and it just brought back all the feelings. That's why I like to write really long reviews. But yeah, this was a great book and I highly recommend it. Say Swear by Megan Brandy. How people can't love this book, I don't know. I ate this up so much. Like I always say, the word beautiful. Beautiful is just one of my favourite words. This was truly such a beautiful romance. It was tragic, it was traumatic in a lot of parts, it was sad, it was happy, there was so much emotion. Yeah, it was a great book with so many emotions filled inside. But I'm not actually going to say what this is about because the back doesn't give much away. I will read you the back and that's all I'm going to do, because going into this blind is the best experience because the back really doesn't tell you much. All it says is, for years I've dreamt of what college life could bring, and while some things changed, there was always one constant. It didn't matter how wild I allowed my imagination to run, my future was clear and he was it, until suddenly he wasn't. Now there's a new man in my life, one who isn't afraid to go after what he wants, and what he wants is me. So yeah, it is a little bit of a triangle. I feel like I've got to be very careful about what I say about this book just because the back really doesn't give anything away. This was a 5-star, by the way, so it's going to be really hard for me to keep my mouth shut. I wrote here, this was such an easy 5-star for me. If it wasn't for life getting in the way, I would have read this way faster, because every time I did pick this book up, I couldn't put it down. I think I read this in 4 sittings, but it was over the span of a long period of time just because I wasn't doing well. The writing is so bingeable and the characters are so lovable. I just wanted to keep reading because I felt so much love towards the characters and wanted to see their story to the end. This book was an emotional rollercoaster. It didn't all truly hit me. Everything these characters had to endure until I finished it, and I sat there staring at the wall crying because my heart just broke for them, and then also my heart felt so happy for the ending. If you know, you know. Also, are you kidding me, that epilogue was the sweetest shit ever. I've wrote that, but I don't fully remember the epilogue. Oh yeah, I do remember that epilogue. Honestly, Ari is such a thoughtful, sweet girl. Like, she's amazing. I loved her, and that epilogue just really showed how caring she was. I'm not going to say which two, I'm just going to say how I felt about the relationship. Can we just talk about the true understanding these two had of each other? It was so beautiful. They both always knew what the other needed. They communicated so well, and they just were amazing. I loved every second of them, even the sad parts that made my heart shatter, because it added so much depth to their story and made that ending even more rewarding. And I tell you, I've had to delete so much, but just now there's a certain relationship in this book that I was so obsessed with. Like, I just think they were so heartbreaking and beautiful, and I just loved them. And honestly, I could tell you all the reasons why, but I don't want to give too much away, because I want everyone to go and read it and experience the feelings that I have for this couple. And if you read it, you know what I mean, because they are just truly just amazing. Like, honestly, please go read this book. But yeah, I had to hold back a lot, and I've had to edit a lot out because I feel like I gave too much away. Ari truly was such a sweetheart from the start. I love her so much. She's so strong and amazing. You truly see her grow and change in this story. I loved following her journey. This man is everything. He's so kind and patient with Ari. The way he puts her needs before anything, even if it hurts him, so heartbreaking. He truly was an incredible male main character. One of the best I've read. He's so kind and gentle with Ari. He was just everything a man should be. The way he listened to her, the way he showed up for her no matter what, the way he speaks about her in his inner dialogue. A certain trope in here that people hate. Towards the end of the book, something happens in this book that some people just absolutely despise, but I actually really enjoyed that plotline. I think it actually went into the book really well, and I think the way the author dealt with that trope was done in an amazing way, in my opinion. I think Megan handled this trope so well. It was done in such a beautiful and gut-wrenching way. I personally think all her heartbreaking added so much to the story, and seeing Ari come out of the other side really showed how much I cared for her as a character. I felt so much frustration in those last 100 pages because of the pain it caused me and the characters. I just wanted everything to be okay, and it kept me reading. I needed to see it to the end. I love a book that can make me feel, and this one definitely did. I think all the relationships in here are incredible. I love Ari's relationship with all the boys and her best friend Cameron. Such an incredible group of friends. I love them all so much, even a certain boy, even though he hurt my girl Ari, but definitely my least favourite in the group. Cameron and Ari's relationship was such a standout in the story, as well as Ari and her twin brother. I loved how even though side characters, they all played strong roles in the story, but didn't take away from the main plot line. Megan did an incredible job at balancing the romance and the friendships in this story. All the characters were so well developed and held so much depth. Anyways, I absolutely love this book. Gonna go cry some more over these characters that aren't real but feel real, and I adore them. Pretty much sums that up. This book will forever hold a special place in my heart. I cannot believe this book was sitting on my TBR, I think since 2023, and it was just hiding there. It was sitting there waiting to be rated a 5-star. One of my absolute favourites. This is a 6-star read. I just think this is phenomenal. We have Fearless by Lauren Roberts. This is a special edition, guys. Look at that. Oh my god, is my camera picking it up? Look at that. The pink is everything. That is gorgeous. But yeah, and then we've also got little pink sprayed edges. Let me put the cover back on. One of my most anticipated releases, and I read it so quick because I needed to. I don't know if I read it straight away when it came out, but I read it quite quickly because I just couldn't wait. I love these characters so much. I give this 5 stars. I've been seeing so many negative reviews. I don't get it. I thought Lauren Roberts did an incredible job with ending this series. I'm so sad that it's over. I've been seeing people saying that there's going to be another novella. If there is, I'm going to be so happy, but I'm not sure if that's true or not. But anyway, I can't say much about this. Obviously, it's the third in the series. This is the third book to Powerless, which is the first book. I think if I had to rank these books, it would probably go Powerless, Fearless, Reckless. I think Reckless is my least favourite, but I still love that. I've rated them all 5 stars. They're all phenomenal to me. I think for me, I struggle once I start a series. If I'm really connected to the characters, I'm most likely going to give it a 5 star. The way everything comes together in this book, it all makes sense from the first book. It is so good. Like, I just think Lauren Roberts did an incredible job with this one. The way it all comes together, I was obsessed. I was addicted to this book. I think the plot twists were amazing. This was a phenomenal finale to me. I think it was amazing. I think I get why people are frustrated with a certain thing that happens in here, but I also think it makes sense because the thing that happens in here, I feel like it makes sense to the character because he was so consumed to be better that it literally was his downfall. So I feel like that made so much sense for his character, in my opinion. I love the way Lauren writes. I think she's such a beautiful writer. The way she portrayed the emotions between these characters, the relationship between these characters, so good. And considering the fact this is her debut series, is insane to me because it's so good. I cannot wait to see what she does in the future. I was pretty nervous going into this book because it's the last in the series, but Lauren Roberts did everything and more that I wanted. The emotions I felt while reading this, oh my god. The main emotion for me was frustration in the best way. I felt so much frustration for Kai and Paden and the fact that they still couldn't be together. I've seen a lot of people saying it's repetitive, but I ate up the push and pull through all 3 books and the anguish with the characters. It is repetitive, but that's the beauty of it for me. That's why I loved it, because it added to the story for me and why I kept reading. Kai and Paden had to endure so much in this story, and my heart absolutely broke for them. They deserved the world, and the epilogue was so beautiful, so beautiful. The epilogue, I could cry over that epilogue. Paden was everything in here. Once again, she had to prove herself to the people of Ilya, and once again she showed that she's a badass. Paden just is that girl. She is incredible, such a powerful woman. I love that we got the trials again, and the writing was so good during the trials. It felt so immersive, especially that last trial. My heart was beating like crazy. I felt like I was there watching Paden during that last trial. I was scared for her. The way Lauren wrote about Paden and Adina was so devastating and beautiful. I can't say much about that if you haven't read the first book, but yeah, the way she wrote about that relationship, I think Lauren just did an amazing job with that. Kai in this book, his inner monologue, "This man has my heart," the way he speaks about Paden was everything in this story. Kai's story in here again was done incredibly. I also love the complexity, I think that's how you say it, of Kai and Kit's relationship. I didn't hate Lauren's choices for the end personally. I think it made so much sense. Such an addictive series with incredible plot and characters. Everyone says this series doesn't have much plot. I can understand that, but I love the plot. I think the plot's amazing. I just love the trials. Maybe it's not a super plot heavy fantasy. Like, I don't read much like heavy fantasy, so to me this is like enough plot. I love the plot in here. I love the story. I love Kai and Paden, and I want this series injected into my veins. Literally, I wish I could remember everything in this series, but I'm so bad at remembering stuff. So this is one series I hope to read again in the future. I'll reread it because I can see it just being one of my favourites forever and more, because I love it so much. I don't know when I'll start rereading books. Maybe once I actually get my TBR down, but I know somewhere in the future, could be 2 years, 4 years from now, because I feel like I'm going to be reading forever now. I'm never going to reread this series because I feel like it's one of my favourites, and I just want to experience all those feelings again, you know. But I want to wait a while, so I've like mostly forgot everything because I have a terrible memory, and I'd be like reading it again for the first time. I love Lauren so much. I am just going to be following her career now and reading everything she puts out, because that woman, I just love the way she writes. I finally read Done and Dusted by Lila Sage. I've been wanting to read this series for so long now, and it was worth the wait. This was so good. I really liked it. I gave it a 4-star, I believe. This was just such a solid read. I really liked the story. It's short and sweet, but so good. This is about Emmy Ryder. She's a professional horse rider. She does courses and everything, but her career sort of gets knocked because she ends up having an injury and she can't get back on a horse because she's just got so much trauma from this injury. So she ends up going back to her hometown, Meadowlark, which she always wanted to escape this hometown, but she ends up going back. And like, one thing I really loved was seeing her fall in love with her hometown again. I thought that was really sweet. But yeah, she goes back to her hometown. She doesn't really tell anyone why she's back, what's happened, no one knows. So her whole family's a little bit confused because she's just isn't one to stay in this hometown for very long. She obviously goes and sees her family, but not for very long. But now she's suddenly back and she wants to stay. No one really knows why. But Luke Brooks, the mailman character, is, I'll read this line, Meadowlark's most notorious bad boy. He is very close with the Ryder family. They sort of took him in because he didn't really have a solid upbringing. He didn't really have a solid family. So they bring him in. He is also Emmy's older brother's best friend, so his brother's best friend, which I love that trope. Luke spent most of his childhood annoying Emmy. They've never really got on, but they just tolerate each other. It's been years since he's seen her, and then she walks into his bar and he's shocked because he has this sudden attraction to her. She's so beautiful, and he becomes kind of obsessed with her in a very lusty, physical way. But I feel like this at the start felt very insta-love, but it started off as like mutual attraction between the characters, but it developed into a deeper story in a really good way, I felt. Sometimes insta-love can work if the Insta love does turn deeper. It's done in a good way, and I feel like Lila Sage did it in a great way in this story. Luke, I love the fact that he is just so caring, and you wouldn't expect that because everyone just sees him as this like bad boy, but he's actually such a good guy. And he's so kind, he's so caring. Seeing him show that side of himself to Emmy was everything. He helps. I feel like this is a minor spoiler, so if you don't want to know anything at all about this book, it's not a full spoiler, but basically because Emmy can't get on a horse, Luke is actually like, he trains people to ride horses as like a little like background thing, because he helps the riders on their ranch, Rebel Boy Ranch. So he offers Emmy that he will help her to get back on a horse, and I just think those scenes were so adorable. I loved it so much. Again, he's just so caring. This book was so adorable and fun. I was smiling so much while reading this story. It had so much humour and heart to it. I can't wait to continue this series because I can definitely see a 5-star in the future with this author. I love writing like this where it's straightforward and easy. It makes it so bingeable to read. I loved the he falls first trope, and he definitely did. He was obsessed with Emmy. We got to see Emmy realise that the Luke she thought she knew was so much more than what she gave him credit for, and seeing her figure that out was amazing. They had such great banter and made me giggle so much. I loved them. I loved the brothers best friend trope. It made the romance so exciting because of the forbidden love and the fact they know they shouldn't be doing what they are doing, but they couldn't help themselves. I think both characters had amazing character growth in such a short book. Lila did great at still adding elements to the story that made the characters feel like real people. I think the representation of Emmy's ADHD was done so well. I personally think I'm not diagnosed with ADHD, but I relate to Emmy as a character so much, especially around her sensory issues. I think the parts where she was struggling with sensory issues is very relatable to me because I have very bad sensory issues. Luke's storyline was so sad. The fact his blood family treated him like a piece of shit at the bottom of their shoe was so sad. He deserved better, and I'm so glad he found a real family in the Riders. Like I said, they literally took him in. I love Teddy and her sass, the way she spoke to Gus. I could already feel the tension with those two. I can't wait for their book. 5-star prediction for me. Teddy's relationship with Emmy was so incredible. We all need a friend like Teddy. The way she always took the time to understand Emmy. She was excellent. I loved her. I loved the scenes of everyone together and the ranch vibes. All their relationships were so sweet. I can't wait to see all the characters again in the next book. Every time I put it down, I was excited to pick it back up again. I loved it. I'm so glad I finally got into this because everyone has already been and done that. Everyone has already been and read this. I am so late, but I'm glad I'm finally reading it. We have finally finished my wrap up. It only took me like 3 tries. But I kept feeling like I'm gonna pass out. I have pushed through. I am so tired right now. Probably gonna go to sleep for a bit because I'm so tired. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this wrap up. I'm quite insecure when I film wrap ups because I speak so much. I don't know if people like that. I don't know if people like the detailed reviews or if they prefer the shorter wrap ups. Let me know what you think because I'm not sure. I personally love the longer wrap up. Some people prefer like a quick 20-minute wrap up. I feel like mine are always like 40 to 50 minutes long because I just don't shut up. I'm very passionate, if you can't tell, about the things I love, and or the things I hate as well. I can talk a lot about books I don't like as well. I could just talk. I think we've established that I'm a very chatty person when I'm talking about something I love. If I'm not talking about something I don't love, I'm probably going to be very quiet. Give me a book, I read it, I'm probably going to just talk for England about it, especially if I love it. But yeah, let me know. Do you prefer the shorter wrap-ups or the longer ones? That is my wrap-up. I hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a big thumbs up, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!